What's going on, everyone? If you like the videos I'm putting out on this channel, remember to hit that like button. And remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you get all my content right to your device every time I upload. And I thank you for your continued support. Since Battle of Gods, the movie, premiered in 2013, one of the big mysteries that we've all wondered about is who was the original Super Saiyan God that the dragon spoke of in the film. This mysterious warrior and his 5 friends were such a mystery that not even Vegeta, whom we know has a lot of knowledge about the history of his entire race, was even aware of his existence. Well, Toriyama himself has finally come out and revealed the secret of the original Super Saiyan God. Let's talk about it next.
This is Lord Beerus, and unless you want your planet destroyed, subscribe to Geekdom 101. It's even better than pudding.
There's been so much speculation about who this warrior was that originally discovered, I guess you can say, Super Saiyan God. And the answer is finally here, entirely from the mouth of series creator Akira Toriyama from a very special Q&A in a recent magazine that he did, where he was asked about the history of becoming a Super Saiyan. Now, there's some new information here about how the biology of Saiyans actually works, as well as the original Super Saiyan God. So Toriyama says, and by the way, credit to Herms for translating this like always. Herms translates that becoming a Super Saiyan depends on the S cells in one's body. All Saiyans have some, but most don't have many, which is why a lot of the original Saiyans were not that strong. Goku and Vegeta are special cases. Herms goes on to translate, the reason why Goku and Vegeta's kids can go Super Saiyan so easily is probably because they inherited their parent's S cell. So it is a hereditary thing. Being raised in Earth's gentle environment might also be a factor. Now, clearly, without question, Toriyama is pulling this out of his butt. None of this was even hinted in the original series, and it really comes off like Toriyama's version of midi-chlorians from Star Wars. For those who don't know, in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, George Lucas explains that the Force is actually a bunch of microscopic cells called midi-chlorians, and the higher midi-chlorian count you have, the stronger you are with the Force. This appears to be similar but not identical to that idea, in that it's basically natural selection. It does not entirely depend on who your parents are, even though that does appear to be a factor with, of course, human Saiyan hybrids having more potential. That was even hinted about in early Dragon Ball Z. Human Saiyan hybrids have always had potential, but when it comes to the full-blooded Saiyans, this appears to be complete natural selection. So even if you are born a low-class warrior like Kakarot or a super elite like Vegeta, you both may have a high number of S cells to trigger the Super Saiyan power. The topic of the Super Saiyan bargain sale comes up in the interview as well, because Toriyama himself says that lately everybody can become a Super Saiyan, but it's actually not simple. This is what Toriyama said, and Goten is actually brought up specifically. He talks about how having a gentle spirit is the best way to greatly increase your S cells, but most Saiyans are warriors and savages, and thus they don't have a high amount of S cells. This is probably why the Universe 6 Saiyans were able to tap into this power easier than the Universe 7 Saiyans, because they seem to be more gentle, even though Caulifla and Kale are kind of not so gentle. Maybe, I don't know. But anyways, Goten is brought up, the one character in the series that got Super Saiyan easier than anybody else, and Toriyama says it was easy for him because he was able to inherit lots of S cells and had a gentle heart. A gentle heart plus a high battle power results in becoming a Super Saiyan. So the magic formula behind becoming a Super Saiyan is you have to combine being gentle and having a kind heart with anger, which is actually what was told to us back in the day in Dragon Ball Z. It doesn't really contradict too much, but this whole new lore about these S cells, personally, again, just my opinion, I am not a huge fan of this explanation. But that being said, moving on to the mysterious Super Saiyan God, the original Super Saiyan God, his name is Yamoshi. Now, keeping in line with the puns that Toriyama loves to use for Saiyans, the vegetable-related puns, this name is an anagram of moyashi, which means bean sprout, so it's still a vegetable, much like how Kakarot is carrot, and Vegeta's vegetable, and Raditz is radish. I mean, you know, the Dragon Ball puns. Toriyama would go on to tell us a very brief version of the story of how the original Super Saiyan God came about, as well as the lore behind the Namekian Book of Legends. So we do have some answers here, but the whole story has still not been told yet. Maybe we'll get it in a movie or in a manga or in more Toriyama interview translations, but this is what we have so far. So Toriyama writes that long ago, a righteous-hearted Saiyan named Yamoshi fought against other Saiyans with 5 comrades. So it's Yamoshi and 5 warriors alongside of him. He was cornered and became a Super Saiyan. So he was able to transform into that state with the golden hair, but Toriyama does not explicitly say that he was the original legendary Super Saiyan. That is not what Toriyama says here, so don't get that twisted, okay? Now, he goes on to say, but was eventually defeated by overwhelming odds. So even though Yamoshi was able to become a Super Saiyan, it still was not enough power to defeat this mysterious opponent that is unnamed. So he writes, afterwards, his soul wandered in search of 6 righteous-hearted Saiyans, hence Super Saiyan God. Now, it sounds like what happened here is that Yamoshi fought with 5 comrades and he lost the fight and possibly even died, but somehow his spirit, his soul, was restless and could not accept death, discovered 6 righteous-hearted Saiyans, and became the Super Saiyan God. This is a very interesting story and one that I would like to see play out, you know, in the Dragon Ball series, because as far as we know, when you die, you do go immediately to the afterlife to get, you know, judged. However, in old Dragon Ball, it is stated that if you are killed by a demon, a member of the Mazoku clan, which is Piccolo Daimao's clan, you end up having a restless soul that cannot pass on to the afterlife. So is that what's happening here? Was Yamoshi's opponent a demon? I think that would make a lot of sense. It would actually fit. But the question then becomes, where did the demon come from? Is it a Mazoku? What race is the demon? Like, what planet is he from? Is he from the demon realm that I talked about a few days ago? Many unanswered questions here, as expected from Toriyama, because obviously the dude's just pulling this out of his brain. This is totally like just him doing a typical Toriyama quasi retcon. That's what this is. I like the idea of the story though. But that being said, let me continue. So going on here, it says that Beerus sensed Yamoshi's spirit in his prophetic dream, and long ago a Namekian elder likewise emphasized with his spirit, and so wrote about him in the Namekian Book of Legend, which is how Shenlong knew about Super Saiyan God. So when this dude became like a wandering spirit, finding the other righteous Saiyans, Beerus and the Namekians were able to sense him somehow. There was something that happened where, I guess, because he refused to die or whatever the actual explanation is. And again, this is kind of a bummer because there's not much here. Like, there's still so many more questions I have now. It's like every time that you think Toriyama's gonna, you know, give you an answer, he changes the questions, and thus I have more questions. But it appears like as he was dying, or as he was looking for his comrades from beyond the grave, I suppose, Beerus was able to sense the spirit, and so was the Namekian elders, which is why he was written in the Namekian Book of Legend, which tells me that the Namekian Book of Legends, even though we didn't hear about that until the Dragon Ball Super adaptation of the Battle of God story, appears to be a Toriyama idea. Unsure of that 100%, but it does appear to be the case. And this is why there is a ceremony, this is why there is a ritual, sort of like a religious type of ritual to create the Super Saiyan God. So when Beerus picked up on this, I guess he sensed the power and was, well, for a while kind of obsessed with it, which is how he ran into Goku and, well, the events of Battle of Gods took place. What do you think about the story of Yamoshi from the mouth of Toriyama himself? What do you think about it? Do you want to see this become like a movie or like a TV special or something? I would love to see it, because this is not only a prequel to not just the Bardock special, not just Battle of Gods or Dragon Ball. This is a prequel to everything, man. This is like the oldest story we've gotten, you know, as far as from the mouth of Toriyama. So I find that to be very, very interesting. If you are new to Geekdom 101, punch subscribe, hit the notification bell. I thank you for your continued support as always, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. And if you like this video, check out these as well.